This is a 1992 Mercedes E-Class. Well, the first of the E-Class. It's W124. It's a 300E. It was the Mercedes TE, and they made it into the E-Class. This is 1992, so it's nearly, at this moment in time, nearly 20 years old. It's the 4Matic, so it's got a four-wheel drive system. Actually, the four-wheel drive system is not the same as the one that's on the Mercedes now, the 4Matic, current 4Matic, which is constantly four-wheel drive. This one is a two-wheel drive vehicle, and the four-wheel drive engages only if one of the back wheels slips. But it only engages in four-wheel drive up to about 30 miles an hour. So it doesn't drive on the highway or anything in four-wheel drive. But it's very good if you get stuck in ice or grass. They were a very problematic system, I think, and Mercedes withdrew it after a couple of years. And then, with a short gap, they then reintroduced the 4Matic in a system similar to the Audi setup. Anyway, this is the 4Matic estate. So let's have a look. Obviously, these are 7-seaters, and in the back we can put the seats up. So we've got 2 seats in the back. They're not too bad to sit in, if you like going backwards, of course. And you've got seat belts. In this compartment here, we've got the spare wheel and some tools. In the compartment on the other side here, we've got first aid kit. Let's have a look. There we go. Also in the back, we've got the cargo net, which is quite useful. A bit fiddly to get it hooked up and down, but it is very useful. There's a cover that comes over the luggage cover. Covers the luggage if you want to hide something. Strap here. Self-closing. Don't know if you could hear that. Try it again. So you put it down gently. Clicks on its own. That's quite good. 20 years old. Back of the car. This is an English car, but it is left-hand drive. It was purchased originally in England with a left-hand drive because the original owner wanted to use it on the continent, in France actually, and that's where it spent most of its early life, in France. Strange thing about these Mercedes, so this is on the original side that it would have been built, not a conversion for England, is the mirrors. I was amazed at this. The mirror on the passenger side is bigger than the one on the driver's side. I think the reason's pretty obvious. You can see more from the driver's side as to what's coming down on your blind side, but it is a bit odd. It's got driving lights, which are these, and a wiper system. They're not very good. These were a weak point with these Mercedes. They seem to get rusted up the motors. They work automatically. When the lights are on and you put the washers on, it automatically washes and wipes the lights. This one here on this side is actually packed up for the second time, and the motor needs replacing, which I will do. This car's got a sunroof. In fact, when this car was new, it was ordered for English specification in terms of lights and everything, but with all the extras that you could find on it. So this particular model has got all the optional extras that were available at the time by Mercedes for this car. Let's have a look. It's got electric seats. Both front seats are electric. And don't forget, this is a 20-year-old car. We'll start the engine. Now, starting up here, we've got the control for the sunroof. Which obviously tilts. Both visors have lights, mirrors. We've got a dimming rear view mirror, self-dimming that is, which has got different intensities, or you can turn it off. There again, for 20 years ago, that's quite good. In the lighting department, it gets very complicated. You can have your side light on the right or the left hand side independently. That's quite good. That's off. That's your side lights, and that's your main lights. But if you have your main lights on, if you pull it out one position, it puts your driving lights on in the front, and if you pull it out again, it puts the fog lights on in the back. So obviously you can't have fog lights on without the driving lights in the front. You've got a control for height adjustment for the lights. This car has something which a lot of people don't like. I personally think they're lovely, and that is the foot pedal for the handbrake. That's the handbrake on, which is released by pulling that. Obviously it's an automatic car, so you don't need to have the handbrake on as you're pulling away or on a hill or anything. The release for the bonnet is here underneath. There's a lot of controls in the middle, a lot of buttons, so I'll see if I remember them all. This one is the heated rear window. This one is the rear wiper, the rear window wiper wash. This one is an intermittent for the rear window wiper, so the rear wiper is obviously just intermittently, and then if you push the other one, it's on all the time. This button here recirculates air or off. That's your hazard warning, of course. The button on the end is for the lights in the back. There are 4 lights in the back, and you can have them on, or you can have them so they come on with the doors opening, or you can have them turned off, because that allows you to have the hatch open without the lights being on. This car is fully air conditioned, so it's got an automatic air conditioning system, which there again 20 years ago was not that common. You just set the temperature. The buttons for the air conditioning system. The buttons for the air conditioning, the first one is the demist. When you put that on, automatically everything is for demisting. You get hot air blowing on full, so you've got full fan. You've got the bulk of the air going up through on the windscreen, and the wing mirrors are heated as well, so they automatically heat up. When you put it to the second position, that's just air coming up, depending on how it's controlled by the heat control, but the air is coming up, down and up as well. If you put it to the next position, it's predominantly coming down to the footwell. If you put it on the next position, it's on economy, so it's lower values in terms of heat and airflow. The end one just turns the whole system off there. This one here, you put it on, it's on automatic in the middle, so it works according to the heat and the thermostat. If you put it on the top, the fan goes on full all the time, so you can actually force a fan and heat. If you turn it off, it's on a very low setting, so you can have it high or low or automatic. I think I got that right. Radio. This radio didn't come with the car, but it's got a similar type of wood grain effect. It's an Alpine, I think. Then you've got a... Oops. I'm missing a cigarette lighter, I must admit, which I must get sometime. Here we've got the heated seats. Both seats are heated, and there's two positions. You can have it low or full. That applies. The two front windows will go down in one go. If you click them twice, it just makes a double click. But they won't go up in one go, which is a safety feature. So as soon as you let your hand off the button, it stops. This is to control the door mirrors. So you turn it to the right mirror, passenger mirror in this case, or the left, and then you use it as a joystick to adjust it. This roller dial here controls the radio speakers, so you can have sound coming in the middle. The sound's coming equally from the front speakers and the back speakers, or you can gradually intensify the front ones and decrease the back ones, or the other way around. So in other words, you can have the sound coming from the back speakers only, or gradually increase the sound, so you can change it all around the car. I think you know what I mean. This I think is the child seat lock. I think. Must check that one out. I've never used it, so I'm not sure what it is. This thing here is the lumbar control. You've got a number of positions. Both seats have them, and they control a lumbar in the seats. They're very, very useful. There again, 20 years ago that was. That's that. We've got an armrest that comes down. Now let's put the engine back on again. Oops. Some of the other controls. The car has cruise control, which is this lever here, and this stalk controls signals, wiper, 2-speed front wiper, which is the single wiper, if people haven't seen it before. It's quite unique really, not many around are those. And then the washers are worked by pushing the end of this. It's got an electric control for the reach for the steering wheel. So the steering wheel's going up, and then it will go down using that button. It has memory seats, this car as well, so if we push this, it's putting everything back there into position number 1. It's got 2 positions, but the memory seat only works on the driver's seat. Another little thing that's interesting with this car, you can electrically operate the headrests, so on this button here. So if I push it up, that's quite good. Quite novel, that one. What else have we got here? Oh, another little thing that these cars have, a little luxury touch that you don't see very often. It's got a little sun visor in the middle. Nowadays cars have got shaded areas on the screen, but this little one's got a neat little flap. So all in all, a lovely car, which drives beautifully. Well, it drives as a new car, I would think. It's very quiet. probably one of the nicest, well-built Mercedes they ever built. Beautiful.